the kids are out exploring here in the house, and this is the weakest one, and she struggles to get around a little bit. Des, the boarder, she don't know quite what to think. The dapple kid is over there. It's the most active one. So they're not hungry because I just tried to bottle feed them. But this is what it's like to have bottle babies in the house. Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to share some stuff with you that I think I've shared before. I actually went to a Purdue Calving Academy yesterday, and they covered a lot of useful information. Dr. Bethany from Purdue conducted that on the calving situation. And it was pretty nice that it was kind of review for me. I'd been to a calving school before. So a lot of review information and some new information there. So I just want to share what I have for my kidding, and actually my cattle calving kit, and also a couple items that I use for kidding. So I'm going to share that stuff with you right now. So first of all, I always have a supply of gloves. These are just the shorter gloves, and then the long arm length gloves that I have in the kit. And I put these on first, and then you can actually slip these over the top of these long sleeve gloves, and you'll just have a better feel. So that's one thing. The other thing that I have is when those calves are born on day 1 or day 2, I do go ahead and tag them with a number and put the sire on there so I know that calf and what it was sired by. And of course with that, you have your tagging tool. And I use Ritchie tags, so you engrave those, and they're not paying me to endorse them. It's just what I've used for years. I like those really well. Other thing that I have is I have iodine, so when those calves are born, I spray those navels really, really good. Don't want to get any navel ill on those calves, so that really helps. The other thing I do when those calves are born is I will give them a shot of multi-min. I've done that for several years. You know, it's just got some selenium and some other things in it, and we've been got along really well giving those calves a cc of multi-min. Now I'm going to get into the things that I have in my calving kit. And so the first thing is I have OB chains, one long one, and then I also have 2 shorter ones that I have, because you just never know what you're going to get into if you have to pull a calf. I also have 2 sets of handles. One of them is just solid metal. These have a little rubber sleeve on them, so they're easier on your hands, but I do have 2 sets of handles for the OB chains. One thing that Dr. Funnel said she's never used, she had it there. I've used this probably 2 or 3 times over the years, and that's a head snare. If that head is back, you can slip this over the ears. This will come up against in the jaw. You can hook that into one of your chains, and if you ought to hook it up to your calf puller, you can do that. So I have used this several times. Dr. Funnel said that she's never used it. She just uses the chain. I guess everybody, and she's probably the professional, so I've probably been doing something wrong, but I like this particular tool. Also, always have some AI lube or OB lube to put on your hands and stuff as you do that. The other thing that's suggested is betadine scrub. I'll try and get a picture of that on the video. You can buy that at any of the veterinary supply houses, and she recommended the scrub for that to clean off that vulva area in case you got to go in there and assist with that calf. So this is just a bottle of OB lube. The other thing that I don't use very, very often, have used it probably, I'm going to say 3 or 4 times in 10 years, and that is the calf jack. And the reason why I don't like to use this, these things can put almost 4,000 pounds of pressure on that calf. So you pretty well better know what you're doing if you're going to use this calf jack. And like I said, I seldom use this, but it is a good emergency tool to have in your AI toolkit. The other thing that I have is I always have a bucket. I don't have one of the stainless steel buckets that's recommended. In my case, I just use a plastic bucket that I make sure it's good and clean, and you can put that betadine solution in it. Warm water as well to mix that with, and so that's what I use. I guess I should invest in a stainless steel bucket or something like that. So that's the stuff. I think I've got everything that I've used in my calving kit. I do want to mention, I guess there's one other thing that when my calves are born, I use a weigh tape. Have used that for several years. It goes right around their foreflank, and it's pretty accurate because we've used a scale and this as well, and it's just within a pound or two of being accurate. I will mention a couple things for the lamb kitting, and so I do have a head snare. And I shouldn't say lamb kitting because I have goats, so this is goat kitting. So this is just a little plastic one that I bought several years ago. Again, I've used this a couple times. It's pretty small. You can get it around that goat kid's head if it keeps wanting to fall back as you pull. So that's kind of a handy little tool. And then just recently, although my kitting season is just almost over, I bought this rubberized, and it's called a lamb puller, but it will work on goats, and it's got these little knobs on it, and they say you can use this around the head too if you need to pull it. So this goes around the leg, and it's got little knobs that will tighten that up around the leg, and then you can pull those those goat kids if necessary. So that's the things that I have in my calving toolkit. Just a couple things that I have in the kitting toolkit. I do spray the navels as well on all those kids and eventually put tags in their ears, but I like to make sure that they live through the process before I start tagging them. So those are some things that I have, and again, I don't know, maybe been raising cattle for 30 years. A lot of things that I wish I was better at. Dystocia is a problem. I'm gonna usually call a vet, especially if it's a breech. But if you're interested in what you need, if you're going to calve out cows, there it is. So there's my kit. I keep it in a box and have my needles and syringes, and that's what I do. Hey, hello everyone. When I filmed my calving toolkit, I left out a few items. Start out with this a bottle. And it's kind of a new style, and I really like these particular types of nipples. It's almost like it's not like those pink ones that you can buy. I've got 2 of these bottles, and they work really, really well. So I do keep those on hand in case I have to bottle feed. Also, if I have to give colostrum, I use this particular one. There's tons of them out there. It just depends on what you can get a hold of or which one you have a preference for. The next thing that I have is a esophageal feeding tube, and I do have the bag type, and I'll hold this up and you just hang that up, and obviously this end goes down into the calf's stomach. I do have a bottle type feeding tube as well. Sometimes that one works a little bit better if you're by yourself. This one works great if you can hang it someplace and you got somebody to help you. So those are 3 other items that I left out that I wanted to share with you that I use in part of my calving toolkit. Well, one of the dilemmas if you got a cattle operation, it seems like cows have a tendency to want to get out. So I've had 2 cows out this morning through this water gap, so I'm going to get it fixed. I just fixed it the other day, but apparently that wasn't good enough. Tip the bottle all the way up so it gets air. Okay, here's the goat guest. Bottle feeding the goats. There's Will. He's got the dapple. Oliver's got the, tip it all the way up, Oliver. There you go. And then Reagan, she doesn't want to feed.